What's up, freaks? This is just me, and today we're gonna be exploring the best physique of Hunter Labrada's bodybuilding career up to the year 2020, because I haven't learned to predict the future yet. So, Hunter is a current fast rising star in the bodybuilding industry. He started his pro level competition history in 2020, so very recently, in fact, although I believe he's been a competitor since 2016. So, in this video, we're gonna take a look at a few versions of his physique from 2020 and 2021. Of course, given the short career so far, we have no honorable mentions, so let's start right away and introduce the shapes for today. First, on the left is Hunter's pro debut, the 2020 Tampa Pro. Just an awesome package for a pro debut, there's no doubt about that. And the judges definitely agreed, since they gave Hunter first place in his first show, which qualified him for the 2020 Olympia. We don't have the 2020 Olympia in this comparison because I don't think it was Hunter's best. In the middle, we have the 2021 Chicago Pro, a qualifier for the 2021 Olympia, and this was such an awesome showing as well for Hunter. Supreme combination of mass, condition, and great aesthetics. And on the right is the most recent showing of Hunter, 2021 Olympia, where he suddenly jumped up to 4th place. Although that was a little controversial, he was perhaps improved either way. So let's check that out. First pose is of course the front double biceps, and you can tell these versions are gonna be very similar. The difference is only about a year after all. But hopefully I can find some differences and some metrics to determine the final winner. So the Tampa Pro, that's the Hunter on the left, is unfortunately gonna have to get last. It has a crazy lower body, probably looking the best, better than the Olympia on the right, but the Olympia lighting is not really as convenient, so I would have the Olympia beating the Tampa Pro. It has a way better and more pronounced V-taper, and maybe a little more arm separation as well, so I like it more. 3 points go to the Tampa Pro and 2 to the Olympia. 1 point goes to the Chicago in the middle, as I see it. It has the V-taper and the great posing style too. Arms and legs midsection looks good. This looks incredibly aesthetic, so 1 point. Next up, the front lat spread. There is quite a significant difference between these versions. We can all see that. I think it's close for second place between the Tampa on the left and the Olympia on the right. I would give the edge to Tampa because I think Hunter's not hitting the post to the full extent. His lats don't look to be opened up completely, so this picture might not be doing him justice. Other than that, in this pose he looks more cut despite the better lighting. His lower body looks great, and the delts and pecs look more veiny and shredded than at the Olympia, and the pec there doesn't look very good. It looks unflattering, but all the hunters actually have that, so it doesn't matter. The Olympia's lats look much wider, but he looks smoother, and I'm giving 2021 Olympia third place for that. Tampa is second, and the Chicago Pro is simply the best. The lats flare out and legs look superlative. And great conditioning too. Next up we have the side chest, and it's a little harder to see any differences, but the lower body of the Olympia looks much less impressive for some reason, even considering the less flattering angle. His pecs look pretty good in comparison with the other versions, and he looks ripped and conditioned. However, I think I will give it last place. Second would go to the Tampa Pro if you ask me once again. The arms and delt separation look really good to me. The chest is better, and the side leg looks much better than at this year's Olympia. I prefer the Tampa side chest. I think it's the better execution. So second place, and again Chicago looks to be dominating so far. The lower body, upper body, conditioning and mass. I really like this side chest. good execution, and everything looks in balance, maybe apart from the chest that would really need to be brought up. Anyway, another point to Chicago. And we are going to the back double biceps first. And in this pose, I believe Hunter definitely kept improving and improving. Arms and upper back look virtually the same, but the lower back looks a little better from Tampa to Chicago and from Chicago to the Olympia 2021 as well. The lower body of the Olympia is the most shredded. The hams, the Olympia is getting first place here. Second goes to Chicago, which looks to have the superior muscle maturity to the Tampa Pro, which has to settle for a third. Now, the rear latch spread. The Tampa Pro has to get last again. The lower body is the smallest and looks least diced, and the back is the weakest of the bunch as well. He definitely did manage to improve his back, if you ask me. 2020 to 2021, he surely did improve his rear mandatory poses. And unlike the back double biceps, second place goes to the Olympia 2021. I think Hunter's lower body isn't dominating over the Chicago version at all here in this pose. He looks a little asymmetrical, maybe uncomfortable spreading his lats, and he looks more relaxed and balanced in the Chicago version. So the 1 point here goes to Chicago, I think. Here is his side triceps pose, in which he looks really good. I'm telling you, this is a great aesthetic way of hitting the pose. The execution is masterful. Amazing job. Anyway, when I look at the Olympia version on the right, he looks crazy veiny in the delts and chest. Freaky, that's really impressive. And the traps too. The triceps is also very impressive, but look at his chest. It definitely looks a little weird, and to me it sort of spoils the flow of the pose. With all due respect to the young bloke, the midsection at the Olympia doesn't look as tight and small as in Tampa or Chicago either, so it gets third. And Tampa versus Chicago, the arms look bigger and the horseshoe is more impressive in Chicago, and the side leg looks sharper, with great execution, so Chicago is getting the point again. And here is the ab and thigh pose, and Hunter so far seems to be an exception in the ab and thigh, at least for this part of his career. He improved, if you ask me. When bodybuilders get older, they mostly get bigger and the midsection looks worse, but it's not the case with Hunter as I see it. His lower body looks the least massive and feathered in Tampa and the most in Chicago, to me. The Olympia looks to be somewhere in the middle. The Tampa Pro's midsection is not really superior to any of the two other versions we have, so let's award Tampa with an unfortunate 3-point count. And I think the Olympia wins in the obliques, serratus, and I prefer it over Chicago this time. Even though the Olympia has a little bit of a bigger abdomen, I would put it over Chicago because I think the Chicago Pro's lighting is just too good. It's a little deceiving. So the point goes to the Olympia. He looks more cut to me. And last is the most muscular, one hand on hip, a great variation, I think. The Olympia is last for me because it doesn't really look that awesome in this pose. His pecs look a little smooth, and the back there looks really weird, if you ask me. The vascularity looks beastly, but nothing doing. The lower body isn't as impressive. Maybe it's the camera angle or something, but also the delts, they have almost no striations. The conditioning and the shape is just not suited for this pose. And second is the Tampa Pro Hunter Labrada. This version's chest is a little superior, if you ask me, but it's not as good as in Chicago. I would definitely have Chicago first. It looks like it's just dominant in this whole comparison. It's got the striations of Tampa and the size of the Olympia. That's a great, most muscular. I think the pecs, shoulders, arms, abs, and quads look really good. So that's actually all for this comparison. Let me announce the placings. Third and second is closer than first. Third place is the Tampa Pro 2020, Hunter's Pro debut. He didn't win any poses with this version and got 20 points, but he was already really well conditioned and in supreme shape, just a little less developed and experienced. Sure, it was a good challenger for the runner-up version of Hunter Labrada. That's the 2021 Olympia, his fourth place version. I don't even think it looked that shredded, but it had more veins and less striations. But Hunter was in good shape either way, and also really aesthetic and definitely bigger and more mature than at Tampa. With 18 points and 2 poses, it was capable uh, too of beating the Tampa Pro. And first place, unsurprisingly, the Chicago Pro 2021. I had this version being the victor in 6 out of 8 poses with only a mere 10 points. In my opinion, this was the best combination of symmetry, condition, and size on that frame that Hunter has. He looked supreme for sure. I think this is the best Hunter up to this date, and I'm hoping he can get to this shape or better at next year's Olympia, which he is already qualified for. That's awesome. So, guys, let me know if you agree or you prefer the Olympia or possibly another version of the bodybuilder Hunter Labrada in the comment section below. Did I judge good or should I evaluate certain subjects and aspects more? Possibly, what do you think? And one more question. Do you like Hunter Labrada, his physique, and his personality? Because I'm a big fan of this guy overall, and I wish he stays at the top of the game. I think he's a good competitor. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to watch some Hunter Labrada videos, and also like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day.